Welcome, science friends, to Intro to Speciation. So before we talk about how different species happen, we need to identify and define what a species is. So a species was defined by Ernst Mayr, who was an evolutionary biologist, and he said, a species is a population whose members can interbreed, so they can breed with each other, and they have to produce viable, fertile offspring. So their babies must be strong enough to survive and make babies of their own. Being reproductively compatible is a key component. So not all species can have babies with other species. On very rare occasions that can happen, but for the most part, most species can only breed with the same species. Humans, we're all the same species, so we can all interbreed with each other and create viable, fertile offspring. In this other picture here, we have two birds that look extremely similar. They are both meadowlarks, but one is an eastern meadowlark and one is a western meadowlark. They have different behaviors, and these behaviors and songs are different enough that these two birds that look very similar and act very similar, they're different enough so that they don't breed together, meaning that they're their own species. So there are two-ish modes of speciation that we'll talk about, something called allopatric speciation and sympatric speciation. Allopatric speciation means there is an actual physical barrier between two different populations of the same species. This physical barrier will then create a sort of move that means that those two separate populations begin to evolve separately and therefore become different species. They can have reproductive isolating mechanisms having to do with evolution and make those populations different from each other. This is called speciation, when two different populations of the same species move apart from each other in a way where they stop being the same species. They are now two different, distinct species. A great example of this is Darwin's finches. So Darwin's finches are theorized to come from Ecuador, which is not too far away from that island chain. But when those finches went from South America to the Galapagos Islands, there was a physical barrier of ocean between them, which prevents those island birds from going back to the mainland to breed with the other finches on the mainland. They are now two separate populations with the distance of ocean between them. That is a physical barrier, so that will prevent those island finches from breeding with the mainland finches. So now those two populations are very different from each other due to that physical barrier. The other one is called sympatric speciation. So instead of having a physical barrier, there are other factors that mean that these different species don't interact. They don't interbreed with each other. They don't make babies together. It could be a temporal, a mechanical, or even a behavioral difference. So what that means is, so for example, here we have flies. These flies look really identical and close to each other. But some of these flies prefer the green apples and some of these flies prefer the red apples. And if I'm a green apple liking fly, I'm probably going to mate with the other flies that also like green apples. Same with the red apple flies. There's no mountain between them, there's no ocean, there's no physical barrier. But that behavior of I'm going to mate with the ones that like the same things I do is an example of this sympatric speciation. That was a quick intro to speciation. I hope it helped.